I want to go over the Live Series collection and how you should approach completing it as a no money spent player. And being able to complete the collection as soon as you can, I think is even more important than the last couple of years, since the power creep content structure is back in MLB 25. So getting this 99 overall Carlos Beltran card earlier in the year will be even more impactful. And even getting the Roger Clemens and Gil Hodges cards are another nice little incentive to complete these programs, and those are going to be really good cards as well. So one of the key things to keep in mind when working to complete the Live Series collections is spending the least amount of stubs as possible and being as efficient as possible in this whole process. Now, I know this sounds very obvious, but let me explain everything I mean by this. I would pay attention most days to the market for these Live Series cards, but especially for the high overall Live Series cards, because these high overall Live Series cards are going to make up the majority, probably like 90% of the cost of the Live Series collection. So being able to get a good deal at some point on these cards is going to be huge. And typically the high overall Live Series cards their price will start to slowly go up post-launch of the game. However, at some point there will be some crashes in price for these cards. So if you are someone that likes to be a little bit more patient with these cards, waiting for the prices on these cards to take a little bit of a hit and decrease in price might be a smart decision. And there could be a few reasons throughout the year why we might see some small crashes in the prices of these very expensive Live Series cards, but one time where we might see these cards fall in price could be when they drop the next big Legends and Flashback collection rewards. When this happens, people might be trying to sell off some of their expensive Live Series cards to try to acquire that new collection reward. So we could see the price drop when this happens, but this is just one possible example of when these prices could come down. So this is exactly why I just like having a decent chunk of stubs just sitting in my account because when these price crashes happen, they're going to happen quickly. And these can happen really kind of any time. So this way you're just kind of prepared and you can pick up these expensive cards when it happens. So right now I'm sitting on like 370,000 stubs, but I'm still using maybe a portion of this to flip cards and do whatever to make more stubs with those. But for the most part, just kind of sitting on a large stack of stubs. Another thing you all should know when it comes to being as efficient as possible with your stubs is when you're ready to buy up some Live Series cards to start completing some of the collections, you absolutely need to be putting in buy orders rather than buy now on the cards, right? So putting in a buy order, we can put in a buy order and buy this Bobby Witt for like 151 at this moment, 151,001 stubs, right? So that card would be ours. But if you do buy now on the card, you're going to be spending 162, close to 163,000 stubs. That's about a 12,000 stub difference just in this one card. Now, if you think about all of the Live Series cards there are and the difference in stub prices it's going to make between putting in all buy orders versus doing buy now on all these cards, right? On not just the expensive cards, but even the lower diamond cards, the golds, the silvers, it all adds up and it's going to be a massive difference. So it is so important to be putting in buy orders when you're buying up these cards needed to complete the collections. Another thing I just want to mention very quickly is just don't spend your stubs on stupid things either. And that includes packs. You're going to be earning so many packs just from playing the game that it's just not necessary. And you're just not going to get, more likely than not, you're not going to get anything expensive from these packs either. So it's just not worth it. And it's going to save you stubs in the long run. So we all know we need a significant amount of stubs to actually finish these collections, and we know we'll be earning stubs over time from grinding the game, but there are other things to focus on to gain extra stubs. So one thing is like at the beginning of each XP inning program, getting up to these boss cards quickly, within the first few days, selling them at their, look how expensive they are right away. Selling them at their max price is so important. That's a really good way of getting stubs. And you can do this in the multiplayer program too. When new multiplayer programs come out, you can do that. Other new programs, new Diamond Quest maps, with all sellable, just any program or anything that has sellable diamond players, completing them as quickly as possible, selling them at their max price is going to be a great method. Speaking of good methods is Diamond Quest. So Diamond Quest, I've been playing a bunch this year, and you can, by completing these maps, get all these diamond players. You can sell them. and getting into the maps as early as possible too, when the cards are at their highest price, like I mentioned before, is also important. But you're going to get tons of other packs from playing Diamond Quest 2, which is more stubs, or maybe possibly you'll get lucky with some pulls. But then also, I'm big on flipping, so I flip quite a bit. The margins early on in the game for flipping are not fantastic, so it's a little tougher to flip, but as the year goes on, as we get more content, flipping will get better in terms of, better margins and everything. Flipping, it's up to you whether you want to do it or not. I do have a video I put out recently all about flipping, so go ahead and check that out if you want to learn more about it and my process. Grinding Conquest this year seems very rewarding too in terms of overall packs and stubs that you get from them. And all of these are going to have, not only rewards, packs from the goals right here, but then you're also going to have a lot of hidden rewards. So you don't even really have to grind these Conquest maps that much. You can get a lot of the hidden rewards for free, which gives out packs, just by conquering all these territories. So great method just for packs, great mode, I should say, for packs, for stubs. Definitely recommend grinding Conquest, especially when you need to complete PXP missions and everything with players. That's definitely a good way to go. But then I would go through your inventory if you have not in a little while and just sell all the items you do not need. Equipment, go to unlockables, look at jerseys. Some jerseys might go for more than you think, or you could just, quick sell some things. But on most of these items, I do recommend just putting in sell orders because you're going to get more than just quick selling these items. But, icons, banners, everything, just everything you don't need. Also, one other thing you can do is come into all your players, and you can go through and sell all your duplicate players. Some players might be going for more than you might think. You might not realize you have a ton of duplicates, but you have them. And it's also, I think it's not a bad idea to, at some point, go into your free agent players, all the cards that are free agents, and some of these I've noticed, actually, there's like common cards, bronze cards, mainly common though, that I've noticed go for way more than you might think. So you might have some expensive ones as free agents, and also you don't need really these free agent cards at the moment, so selling some of these off might not be a bad idea. If you have more of a long-term goal of completing the Live Series collections and not doing it as quickly as you possibly can, you can also invest in some Live Series cards that you think are undervalued and could go up in overall over the year. Like, let's just say Colton Cowser, for example. You're all in on Colton Cowser. You think he's going to get up to an 85 diamond by the end of the year. You could start investing in them now, and hitting on some of these investments can be another way to make a significant amount of stubs just to help you afford some of the very expensive diamond cards that you need to complete the Live Series collections. So that's really the approach I suggest you all take to complete the Live Series collections as quickly as you can. And most of this is stuff I focus on, and most years of MLB The Show, I'm able to complete these Live Series collections in about a month or so into the game. But that's really going to be it for this video, guys. I appreciate you all for sticking around to the end and watching. See you guys next time. Peace.